I have owned a number of sling bags over the years, but nothing with the multifunctionality of this bag from Xover. If you're interested in hearing more about it, keep watching. Before we get started, I do want to thank the company Xover for sending out their summer sports model of the Xover bag. And I've been carrying this bag now since early spring, on and off, on hiking trips around the city as an EDC type bag. But for the last 2 weeks here at Kujbequac National Park, I've been using it every day. It's been my bag to go on trail hikes. It's been my bag to go to the beach, of course. It's been my bag that I've taken just about everywhere because it just makes the packing of it so convenient. So what I thought I would do is focus in on the bag a little bit, go over a few of its specifications, but more importantly, go over all the features of this bag that makes it stand apart from virtually every other sling bag that at least I'm aware of. Just briefly before we focus in on the bag itself, I'll just point to a few items that I've been carrying in the bag all the last 2 weeks here at Kujbequac, but without going into any detail. So that pile on the table is everything that was in this bag just a minute ago when I introduced it to you. These are the things that I've been carrying here. Now, what you put in your bag, of course, is going to depend on what your activities of the day are, but primarily, of course, a water bottle, a book for reading at the beach, a monocular, sunglasses, first aid kit, notebook, cell phone, a number of different things like that that you would normally take with you. So there's room for the things that you're going to want to take with you most of the time, because this is not a backpack. Well, it is, and I'll explain what I mean by that in a moment. It's only got 10 liters of capacity, so it doesn't have a huge capacity, but the best way to think of a sling bag is similar to a haversack, but maybe with a bit more versatility, especially when you see the features this bag has in it. Okay, I'm going to go through a few of the physical specifications before we start focusing in on those features, and I do have my cheat notes here, of course, to refer to, but I'll put all of this information in the video description, as well as the links, of course, to where you can take another look at it. So to start with, I did say this is the summer sports bag because they have a couple of different lineups in their lineup of bags. They vary only slightly. This is the summer one. I'll show you what makes this a summer bag in a minute. This, by the way, is the Cozy Fire color. And I chose this one specifically. I know it's not your typical green that you might see me wearing in the woods, but for the uses I have for it, I think this is great because one of the things it will double up as, not just for hiking or that type of thing, is as a bicycle bag or high activity bag, even running if that's what you want to use it for. So having a bright orange like that, I think, is a good choice. All right, so what are some of the things you'll want to know? Weight, overall weight, empty, of course, 1.3 pounds. So, lightweight, but there is a bit of weight to it, and that weight comes through the materials chosen that add to the extreme durability of this bag, as I'll talk about in a minute. The dimensions are, it's 13 inches across, it is 17 inches at height. Now remember, it's got a bit of an angle to it, so it's not a full rectangle. 17 inches high, and empty 4 inches deep. But how much volume you put into it depends, well, how much room you get, I guess, depends on how you pack it more than anything else. As I mentioned, it is a 10-liter capacity bag, so think about that in terms of any backpacks you may own and how much capacity they have in them. The material, now I just want to read this to make sure I get it right, is a triple-coated, ultra-lightweight, and durable honeycomb special polyester with a 210 HD and tape seam. So what does that all mean? Well, to start with, let me just show you the material up close. It's ripstop, but hornets, love it. It's ripstop, but the ripstop liners and threading it is in a honeycomb shape. Now, whether or not it adds to more durability than regular square ripstop threading, I'm not sure, but it does add to its attractiveness. And when you're carrying a bag like this, it might as well look good, right? But it is triple laminated, so the material is not a thin material at all. It's very thick, very durable, and absolutely waterproof. They call the waterproof rating of this bag extreme. Now, I haven't tested it. I haven't gone swimming with it. I haven't worn it in heavy showers. Likely I'm going to put something on over top of this, like a poncho, or maybe this over top of a raincoat, depending, of course. So I can't verify the extreme rating of waterproofness, but by looking at the materials, I can easily believe it. Now, I'll just open it up a little further. Taped seams. This is important. This is an inside seam. you can see here, so it's got a bias tape folded over, and so it's not tape, it's a nylon webbing is what it is, folded over and sewn down. So that's going to add to the durability and the waterproofness, of course. And well, I usually start on the outside of a bag, but now that I've got it open, let me finish the inside look at it of it. There is a pocket, a single pocket on the inside here that has a bit of an elastic around the top, so that gives you some options on what you're going to put inside there. You know, I quite often would put a small sit pad in there, or kneeling pad, when I'm going out for hikes. You know, you can put, I guess it helps divide and give you some choices of where things are. So some things can reside in there, and some things can reside in the forward part. Now, this is not something I have tried yet, but I may do so, although I don't have as much need to it as I used to back in the day, and that is turn that into a water back reservoir. So a water bladder, that's I guess the right word, like a lot of backpacks have for biking, hiking, and the type of thing, where you can put a water bladder in and feed the drink tube out through the top of the bag and usually down over the shoulder straps on a backpack. I think this is, although it's not intended for it, I think it will still work for it. The only thing it doesn't have is a means of suspending it from the top. At least it's not designed into the bag. There is a feature on the bag that may allow you to do that, but yeah, it's at least an option that's worth considering if that's something important to you. It has a little key dongle that comes off if you want to use that to hold your keys on. There's a small admin pocket here that attaches and detaches with Velcro. It has a single zippered pocket on the front. That's usually where my wallet goes, and a number of elasticized spots on the back, primarily you would think for pens and small devices like that. So that's the interior of the bag. Yeah, there's nothing else to show you there. Good time to show you the zipper. So the zipper is kind of like 3/4 in that it comes up the side. I don't know, can you see what I'm saying? Up the side and then over the top. So let me just do that, zipper it up and over the top, because I want to show you two things about the zipper. First off, it is the sealing type of a zipper, so that is in aid of its full waterproofness. Now, these are not waterproof in and of themselves. They're highly water resistant, the zippers, but they go a long ways compared to other types of zippers as well. Now, the zippers themselves are over manufacturers. So these are their own zippers. It's not something that they didn't choose to use YKK, but in my experience has been so far, there's been no jamming, no failures. They run easily, run smoothly. So I cannot see them being any less durable than, say, the more popular YKK. There is a bit of a storm flap that helps to cover the zipper, again, for a little bit of protection from weather as well, and little pull tabs on the zipper as well. Now, the flap itself has a couple of unique features. So we're getting into the features as well, and I'll be talking a bit more about the other materials that make up this bag as we go along. So the flap that goes over the top snaps together at the bottom with a Delrin buckle right here, and a little bit of a length adjustment. Now, for the most part, I haven't found the need to lengthen or shorten the strap on the buckle, but here's where you may. Do you see on the inside of the flap right here, there are two elasticized loops. Now, they're not huge. They expand probably to 6 inches. Yeah, maybe 5 inches, 6 inches in diameter. And I wondered about them for a little while. Like, was there a design intent, something that these were meant to be used for? And the best that I can come up, at least what I'll use it for, is putting a windbreaker or a jacket or a raincoat or something like that, or maybe a fleece if you are out hiking and it's cool when you start, warms up, or it's warm when you start and cools off. Then you have somewhere to store that on the outside of the bag without taking up room on the inside, and goes on there quite easily as well. Now, there is another, I'm going to buckle it. There is another feature about the flap as well. It has another one of the waterproof zippers on. It's just a small pocket the size of the flap. I put things in here that I probably going to be looking for quick access for. I put my glasses in there. That was a mistake, because then I reached reached for the bag like this, and I snapped my glasses. No, good thing they were Costco glasses, so they're easily replaced. So don't put anything that you would risk damaging. But if it's your cell phone, there's room in there for that. If it's a pocket knife, which is actually what I have in here right now, then there's room for small things like that in that little flap. Okay, now we're going to move around the outside of the bag, and I'll show you a few more of the features as we do. So obviously a good place to start is at the sling itself. So this is what makes a sling bag different than, of course, a haversack or satchel or any other type of a shoulder bag, is that this is meant to ride across your body, one shoulder, either left or right. In this case, it resides on my left shoulder. You'll see when I put it on what it looks like. So that's the basic concept of it. But it's because of that that it adds to the versatility, as you'll see. So the strap, the shoulder strap does have padding, not a lot, but then again, you don't need a lot with this because you're not going to be putting that much in it, quite honestly. At the top of the shoulder strap is a elasticized or shock cord with a cord lock on it loop that you can use for a number of things. And let me show you one of the, well, I'll actually demonstrate one of the uses for you. But what's cool about the cord lock on this, it has a hook on it, which allows you to wrap around an item and hook it back onto the shock cord, or pass the item right through the shock cord and then use the cord lock to snug down on it. However, it is removable, so if you want to take it off and use it on another point on the bag, then you can, because there's these little tiny webbing loops in a number of locations. Well, the other one that it's set to match up with right now is on the far corner of the bag near the bottom, as you can see right here. So there's another loop, another one of those shock cords with the cord lock that has the hook on it. Now I could take it, switch it over to this side. So the setup, and again I'll demonstrate, is intended primarily for a set of hiking poles. So you can actually wear the hiking poles, or when you're not using them, wear them on your shoulder bag, the sling bag, cross over the bag, and that's the most efficient way to use it, and I'll show you how that works in a second. Or you could take and remove this one and bring it over to here and wear them straight up and down. That would be another option. Take the cord lock off of here, put it at the bottom where the other small loop is, and you have another place to wear something across the outside of the bag. Now, you know, we kind of brainstormed ideas, maybe a sit mat of some type of thing, maybe a roll that you want to put there, maybe another piece of clothing you could put there. Obviously nothing too wide that's going to stick out and impede your passage through the woods or anywhere else, doorways and the like. But it does give you a few options there. On the side is a mesh holder for a water bottle. I will tell you, let me grab my water bottle. This is a 750 milliliter Camelback water bottle. That's the largest that you're going to get in here. You're not going to get an Nalgene in here. It's kind of snug. Let me just slide it down inside to show you the depth of it. Yeah. So you can see how deeply it sits in the mesh pocket. There is an elasticized shock cord on another little loop there that you can put around the top, just so if you're being active, you're less likely to use it or lose it, so it won't fall out. So that works. Certainly a smaller water bottle like one of these from a drugstore will fit, or shop, you know, gas station, anywhere, I guess, would fit in much more easily. I just want to point that out because somebody will ask me, I know they always do, well, can you fit an Nalgene, especially an Nalgene cook set down there? No, you cannot. It's a bit too small for that, unfortunately. But then again, this bag is not intended for that type of use primarily. Now, I want to go to the bottom because this is a feature that I had to look at. When I first got it, I thought that was a rubberized type of material that you see on the bottom of a lot of backpacks. And it's not. This is an extra thick woven nylon that they say is waterproof. They say, like I said, I haven't actually tested for full waterproofness. And it's very, very heavy duty, making it very durable. Now, the reason I say, I guess my thinking around it was, a lot of the ones that I see on backpacks that are rubberized over time start to flake and wear off. This will not do that for you, so you don't have to worry about this breaking down just through age or through dropping it on the ground or anything like that, or setting it in some material that might eat away at it. This is a webbing. It's just like a super wide panel of webbing and very tightly knit as well, or woven as well. So that adds to the durability there. All right, one more feature on the outside, or a couple more actually on the outside. This is the back panel. And this is what makes it a summer bag as opposed to their winter bags, and they have a lineup of winter bags. Hopefully you'll see this. Under this air breathable mesh is a thin foam liner to protect your back, but it's all cut out in areas, and that's all about, one, protecting your back from anything sharp on the inside of the bag, but also to aid ventilation so you don't get too sweaty wearing it, and it works. It works just nicely. I mean, that's the best you can do. I suppose if you had a sprung frame like some of the backpacks do, you might get a little bit more. But when you're looking for a bag that's intended to reside close to your back, this is about as breathable a setup as you're going to get. All right, two more things, and then I'll get into a couple of the other features that really make this set apart from other sling bags. At the very top, another waterproof zipper. It is a pocket that goes down the full length of the back, so you can access it, but you can see it's quite a small opening for that pocket. This hides, or I guess allows a place for an additional strap. I'll pull the strap out and show it to you, but it'll take me a minute before I can demonstrate it. This is a secondary shoulder strap that will allow this bag to be turned into a backpack. And like I said, I'll demonstrate that in a moment. Let me just tuck that back out of the way, inside of there. However, right next to that pocket is another zipper that is pretty much full length across the top, and this opens up to the entire inside of the bag. So that gives you a spot to put more things in. So another division. Now, the type of things you're going to put in there, it's behind that foam protective barrier between you and the back, but you're still not going to be putting big, bulky, pointy type of items in there. This may be where you put a sit pad. This may be where you put a map. You can put a notebook or things like that. These are things that allow you to get at them easily because, here's a kind of a great feature or great versatility that this bag offers. As you'll see when I start demonstrating wearing the bag, this would make a great travel pack for anybody who's doing travel by airplane or anywhere else where you need or you want to have a personal bag item on you that it gives you a place to put things like boarding passes, your passport, that type of thing, but know the security of that it's right there on your chest, but still quick access. That's what that pocket is really intended for. At least that's what I think it shines as its best use. All right, so those are the features on the bag. So what I want to do now is just rearrange the camera and show you a few of the options and ways you can actually wear this bag. Turns out there is one other small feature of this bag that I failed to show you a moment ago, and you can see why. You can easily miss it. There's a small piece of cord near the top that allows you to hang this bag up on something. I guess maybe if it's wet or if you want to hang it up on a coat hanger, that type of thing, you can do that. I'll tell you what I've been doing it. Well, I guess there is a couple more features that I haven't shown you yet. On that same shoulder strap, there are two D-rings sewn in right here that allow you to hang things off. I've hung a set of keys off of it at one point, but I have an even better alternative to the keys. Yes, you can put them inside the pack, but if you're looking to have quick access to them rather than take the pack off, it's nice to have some place to hang a set of keys off of the outside or anything else you want quick access to. So there are those two D-rings, but there's also this two-way elasticized thing here, and I have yet to figure out a good use for it. One of my thoughts was I had talked about using a water bladder in this bag, that you would bring the tube out of the top of the bag, run it down through the D-rings, and then through this little stretchy piece of elasticized webbing here. You know, that's kind of what gave me the idea. I'm not sure that it will work for that. I just suggest it's a possibility. I think you can make it work if that's important for you, depending on what your intent for use with this bag is. All right, now, the last thing I'll show you before I throw it over my shoulder is I did hook on a single hiking pole. This is Gina's hiking pole. Mine is quite a bit larger, so it wouldn't work like this. But if you have a pair of telescopic collapsible hiking poles and you want your hands free for a while, then, you know, that's a great place to put them over your back like this. Now, to throw this bag on, you do literally that. Just throw it on over your shoulder. And I want to make sure it doesn't get in the way of my microphone here. Now, to tighten the bag down, there is an adjustment metal thing here I'll talk more about in a minute. You just pull it down and then you adjust it to the length that you want it. A little slip sleeve, a keeper here that takes care of the slack in the bottom of the bag. Yeah, just move the microphone out of the way. So that's the basic method for wearing this bag. I'll give you a bit of a 360 and what it looks like. And again, adjustable. And one of the things I like about it is there's quite a lot of slack in the strap itself that makes it easy for throwing on over my shoulder, makes it easy for getting on over a coat. And I have worn it here cold mornings, cold evenings with a coat, just a lightweight coat as underneath it all. So it's great for doing that. But there's another reason for having the slack in that bag, and that is some of the alternative ways you can wear it. So first and foremost, one of the way, oh, by the way, Can you see these two metal things here? I'll show you what they're actually intended for, but these are also something that you can dangle maybe a set of keys off or your sunglasses off, or not your reading glasses, don't do that, just in case, right? But because I'm saying that because I broke a pair. Fortunately, I had a backup pair of glasses, so it was always, all is good there. But this little thing here is where the additional accessory straps will go when you put this on. But first off, I want to show you how you would use it, just single strap across your shoulder like this. So I have it on in the most traditional, probably the most used way. My second most used way of carrying this, make sure I don't catch the microphone up in it, is to bring it across my chest like this. So what this allows me to do is to throw something else over my shoulder. But this is also one of the ways I might use it traveling, such as in an airport or anywhere else, or sitting down on a bus or anything, anywhere you just want to sit down. To get it off of your back, you just slide it around to the front. It also allows me to gain access to all the items inside, to just unsnap, run the zipper up, reach down inside, get whatever it is that I want and put it away again. So this is a nice way of carrying the pack as well. But there is yet an even more comfortable way if you're going to throw it up like that. That is to lengthen the shoulder strap again. This is full extension out on the shoulder strap. And now I let it drop on my hip, and it carries very much like a traditional haversack will. So right down over my butt is here on this side. Very comfortable carry, leaves my back open so it's not going to get all sweaty, as it will. Just put anything across your back is going to make your back sweaty. This less than a lot of the sling bag, actually none of the other sling bags have that ventilation panel on the back like this one does. But carrying it down here is more like a traditional haversack would be. And it also means that I can carry it across my front and make it even easier for gaining access to items inside. So these are the ways that I've been carrying it most often. But what I want to do now is bring out the additional extra auxiliary straps, I guess they're called, and show you even more secure ways of carrying this that will allow you to do even more intense activity than just walking or hiking. All right, give me a sec. The first auxiliary strap that I want to show you, I have to have the backpack off in order to show you how this will hook up, is this one that goes across the waist. So it's Velcro closed, runs through a little metal loop here to keep it out of the way when you're not using it. When you have your bag over your shoulder, once again, I'll pull the strap down to snug it into position. And I'm looking for a little bit of extra security because I'm moving, maybe riding a bicycle or running. Then I can run that strap through one of those metal loops. And now I have like a 3-point system that makes it secure, so it's not going to shake or move or slide or fall off. As a lot like if you've been biking, you know that if you're trying to wear a haversack, it's going to swing around to the front on you every given time that you try to ride your bike. But if you have a waist strap or some way of attaching to your body to prevent it from doing so, then it gets more versatility. Well, that's virtually what this is. Without being a waist strap, it's created this 3-point system right here that keeps the bag secure across my back with less chance of moving. However, that other strap, the one that's sitting in that pocket in the back, gains even more security. So let me get that out and I'll put that one on. Using all these straps on this backpack means that I have to be a little bit more careful about where I place my microphone so it doesn't smack into it too often. All right, this is the shoulder strap that was down inside that little pocket at the top of the bag. And what you do with this now is run it through the other metal ring on the little adapter. And now you've actually created a 4-point harness system that creates a backpack-like a feel. And if you get the adjustment right, let's see if I can do that. Pull this one down a little tighter. Yep, pull that down. Pull this one a little tighter maybe. Lots of adjustment here. And the last one. All right, yeah, it actually did work. So what happens now is because of the 4-point system, it actually lifted a little bit of the shoulder straps off of my shoulders. You can see they're actually sitting kind of loose now, which means a little bit more comfort for extended wear. Now, the only reasons I can see for using these straps, because I haven't needed to use them yet, is if I was running, and I used to be a long distance runner, and I used to run with a backpack on occasion. They usually just sling from side to side. Any runners would know you'd have to get a running specific backpack if you're going to try that. This would work. This would work as a running specific backpack. I think it'd be great for that if I was still doing long distance running. Very, very secure. Bicycling, this is not going to fall off. It's not going to shift from side to side and cause weight issues on your bicycle. I think it would really help out there. Not aggressive, how should I say, very active woods activities, maybe climbing up a side of a rock face or scrambling up the side of a small hill, a steep hill I should say, then maybe this would give you that much more security and prevent it from sliding and getting in your way and maybe causing you to fall. So it does offer the versatility of a backpack, and even more so, more than most backpacks will, but still gives you the simplicity of just a simple sling bag that acts like a haversack, I guess. All right, that's everything I wanted to show you about this bag. Now, there's just a couple of the comments I want to make about it, and then we'll wrap this video up. Just a couple of more comments for the X-Over bag before we close this video. Now, I need to preface this by saying these are my personal preferences. These are not a fault of the design of the bag, and they're certainly not deal breakers for purchasing and owning one of these. If I had made none of the changes or any of the recommendations I'm about to give you, the bag would still be extremely versatile and extremely usable in it the way it is designed now. But the things I want to mention may just take it to the next level. So the first one is a grab handle, some means of grabbing it by hand to lift the bag up so you can pick it up and carry it. Now, someone's going to say, why can't you just use the shoulder strap? Absolutely, you can. I'm just looking for something that might take it a little bit up, upgrade it a little tiny bit to make it just a tiny bit more convenient. So maybe a small grab handle right here at the top where the shoulder strap is attached, or along the slant top where the flap is attached, a grab handle here. Either one would help. Now, these are not things I'm going to try and do myself, add to it, just at the risk of damaging the integrity of the bag itself. It's not that big a deal to me to have. Just a nice little extra. So two more things, and they both are about the strap itself. So the first thing I want to show you on the strap is the way that you grab the strap and pull it down is this little sewn over loop. Well, it's functional to say the least, but it's a little bit easier if you add something like I have. This is just a small piece of paracord that I have knotted. The knot is inside of the loop itself, and I can grab that and pull down on it, and that allows me to shorten the strap across my chest. It's just a small piece of something that, again, this is something I added that's functional for me. You may not decide you need to add this, but it's easy enough to do if you do want it. Just grab a piece of paracord, the color you like, and away you go. The other one has to do with the adjustment thing. I don't know what to call this thing right here, where the strap slides through. So it is made of metal, which is great. That's durable, much more durable than any of the plastic ones out there. That is only going to be not affected by age. It's not going to be affected by being jammed or damaged in any way. So yes, the metal is a good choice, and it's very low profile. It's not showing, it's not impacting. You don't feel it imprinting on your chest or anything. The way this works is while there's slack on that centerpiece, you can pull on the strap to shorten it or to loosen it like that, and that's the way it's intended to work. Yet when you shorten it, when there's tension on it, it doesn't come any shorter. So that's exactly the way it's supposed to function. But here's the thing, in order to take the tension off of that while you're wearing it, the easiest way to do that is with two hands. So you reach over with one hand, lift that flap up, that takes the tension off of the webbing and allows it to pass through loosely. To do that with one hand, it's doable. It's just harder to reach across and kind of get your fingers underneath it and then pull it up like that. So I guess my thought is if there was a way of modifying this so there was more of a lip on it, then it would be something easier for you to get your fingers on and lift that up with one hand and just make taking it off that much easier. Like I said, personal preferences, just small little picky points. Maybe it's something that X-Over could look at. Maybe they don't feel the need to. Maybe other people other than me would even look at it that way. Okay, those are all, well, that's pretty much all I want to talk about with the X-Over bag. This is, okay, let's be honest, it is a bit of a pricey item compared to a lot of the bags out there. And I wondered what it was about this bag that would justify its cost. And now having worn it for almost 4 months, intentionally every day here at Cushbuquack for the last 2 weeks, I've really come to appreciate the quality of the bag itself. This is at the very top end of quality bags. So if you're looking for something that is going to last you, and I mean, this is pretty much an heirloom item that you'll pass on to your children, then this bag is the one you want to look at for that reason. Now, as far as the functionality, again, I've not seen another bag with all the features like this one has. No, maybe you have no need for all those additional features, or you can't foresee using them that way. But I think if you're a highly active person, either a hiker, of course, but if you're a runner, if you're a biker, if you are active any other way, if you're doing climbing and you need a bag that's going to stay put in position on your back, that is, then this one does provide you that versatility and allows you to do that as well. So there, as I mentioned, a couple of other designs, very similar, all based on the basic concept, different colors, different sizes as well. This is one of the smaller ones. They call it the 10 liter. I think the next one up is 12 liters, but you can verify that if you want. I'll put all the information I have, as I mentioned, all the specifications and the links to where you can take a look at this bag in the video description. But if you have any comments or questions, put those in the comment section below. But until next time, get out and explore and take that path less traveled, because it will make all the difference. Bye for now.